Welcome back to Simright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. Today I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful jacket corset as you are seeing right here. So now I'm going to make use of my pattern we made in the last tutorial. So this is the back pattern we drafted it in the last tutorial. I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. So this is the front pattern. But for the front pattern, we are going to make a little alteration. So I want you to watch the alteration. I'm going to extend the length of the jacket. Then the corset, you can see how we use that brack up to draft the corset. Okay, so now I'm going to join the upper corset part with the part we traced, as you can see right there. So you have to put it together with the bodice and cut it out. So that is what I just did right now. Okay, so after cutting it out, we'll now join it back to the main bodies. So right now I'm going to fix the part we traced out to the corset. You can see how I did it right now. Okay, so it's going to be one full upper corset with the traced part, as you are seeing right there. So I'm using my seal tape to tape it, as you can see right there. So you can see it's one full corset. So that is what I expect you to do. So we'll be able to have the keyhole for the jacket. So now these are the front patterns. They are ready. As you can see, that is the collar. So make sure you watch the video before you join this class. So I'm using a crepe fabric right now, and with its lining, you can get a jacket lining with corset cups. So these corset cups, I have a detailed video on how to choose your accurate corset cup. So if you're a plus size, I'll be making a video on how you can use your own cup. So I've cut out the patterns and I've added my seam allowances of half inch in between, and I'm making my notch on the waistline, very important. And I extended the length of my jacket with 3 more inches, so it will be longer, as you can see right there on the thumbnail. The length I had before was shorter in the drafting, so I decided to extend it by 3 more inches. So if you follow the drafting, you can please extend the length of it. So here I have the lining and they are all hair stayed. Okay, so now this is the front piece. I added 0.5 inch all around, as you can see right there, and I also extended the length as well. So now 1 inch is the so I've already cut out the front, and here I have my lapel and I added half an inch to it. Okay, so you need to use the same fabric for everything, but I don't have enough fabric. That's why I used doll face satin fabric for this part of the lining. Okay, but you need to use your own fabric and extend these parts. Okay, you make it a little more longer, as you can see me do. So now I added 0.5 inch all around this area, so we'll be able to sew in the keyhole. Okay, so I have 4 of it right here, as you can see. So ensure you make your notches where I'm making my notches right now. Very important. If you don't notch, it will be difficult for you to achieve the keyhole. So now these are the corset cups. As you can see, make sure you make your necessary notches on your corset cups. I have my arrows and I'm making notches on the necessary parts, so I'll be able to join it with ease. So I added 0.5 inch all around, as you can see, and you can see me making my notches too, so I'll be able to sew my corset perfectly. Of course, you know how to sew corset, so but this is actually a special one. So now this is my collar, and I added 0.5 inch on the lower collar and 0.5 inch all around. The upper collar is on fold, as you can see. So I make notch on where I'm going to attach the notch collar. So now I am going to come back to the back. I'm going to join the back together, B1 and B2. I'm going to join them together. I'm taking off my pattern and I'm going to pick them where I made my notches. Okay, so you can see me picking them, securing it with my pin, and I'm going to my machine right now to sew them. Okay, so make sure you pick them accordingly, both lining and fabric. So I'm done sewing right now. As you can see, I'm done sewing, joining all the back together. So we'll go back to the front. The part I notched right now, you can see it, and the part I notched for this collar, you can see I'm making another notch to where I'm going to join my collar on the lapel. Okay, so I'm taking off my pattern because I want to go ahead and start joining, and I want you to pay attention to see how I'm going to sew this jacket. So I'm picking it up. As you can see, the one on top, the one below, the way they are laying, that is how I'm picking them up one after the other. And I'm going to stitch with 0.5 inch, which is the same allowance I added. Now I'm done sewing right now. The front is ready with the lining. All of them are ready right now. Okay, so this is what I expect you to have for it right now, together with the lining. So once you are done having it this way, you can see how I cut it out. So just make sure you follow these video instructions to see how they are cut accordingly. So I'm going to sew 0.5 inch and notch and top stitch. Can you see I'm notching that area? Make sure you notch that area, top stitch, and you can see. So now I'll go over to the cup and I'm going to sew the cup accordingly, just like I notched them. That is how I'm going to notch them. I'm notching the part that is going to be at the center front. So by the time I start picking them, I already have my notches. So I'm done sewing with 0.5 inch my cup right now, and I'm going to merge the lower and the upper cup, stitch them together just like we do in our corset. So here I trimmed them. Make sure you trim the seam allowances. So here I have my cup well trimmed right now. I have a full cup right now. Both lining, fabric, everything is ready, as you can see right here. So I'm going to sew the neckline. You can see where I'm pointing to now. The neckline is going to be sewn. I've sewn and I'm going to make my notches. I'm going to top stitch. I will give it a good press so that it lays nice and flat. So I've done that. I'm going to insert my bra cup right now. So my bra cup, you can see me inserting it right away. I'm going to use my hemming gum, just like you sew your normal corset, to make it lay nice and flat. So I'm going to do that for the two cups, as you can see. So I'm placing my hemming gum or hemming glue. So now I'm going to iron it out. Now I also stitched around it to hold it in place and trimming off the unnecessary excess. So I want to sew it to the cup, and I want you to watch to the jacket. I want you to watch how I'm sewing it. So from that part I notched, I'm going to start sewing from the part I told you to notch. Can you see that part? So now I'm going to place it from the notch area, and I'm going to sew my corset round. So I'm done sewing my corset round now. You can see it right there. So I'll quickly place the lining too. You can see how I'm sewing the lining. Follow the stitching lines and sew the lining so you have a perfect inseam finishing. So can you see that? So now I'll place this upper one on top of this. Can you see? I'm placing it right on top, as you can see, and I'm going to stitch to have the keyhole corset. So here you can see our keyhole corset is ready. Can you see? It's very much ready now. So I left that part open so I can insert this part of my keyhole and stitch on it. I believe you understand my explanation. So after stitching, this is what I have. Everything is ready. I'm going to merge fabric to fabric for back and sew the seam allowance at 1 inch, which I added. And I'm going to also do the same the other way. So now I've coupled the whole dress. So I'm going to sew the seam, shoulder seam lines together, lining to lining, fabric to fabric. So this is my collar. You can see the upper collar I told you I stitched at 0.5, laying it on the one I placed on fold. So now I'm going to sew the collar accordingly. The part I'm pinning is the part I'm going to sew. Okay, so you can see how I stitched it right now, and I'm turning it around so I'll be able to have my collar accordingly. I'm going to give it a good press as well. So once I've top stitched on it, it lays nice and flat. So now I've given it a good press. So I'm going to place the part that is at the center to the center back on the fabric. Can you see that? And also on the part that I have the notches. So make sure you match the notches together. Then later I'm going to lay my lining at the back of it, and I will follow 0.5 inch to sew. So now I'm done sewing at 0.5 inch all around my collar, as you can see right here. So make sure everything matches nice and flat. So now I'm done. I'm turning it to the right side for you to see. So here I've turned it to the right side, as you can see right here. So now I'm going to start up my welt pocket. So the welt pocket is your waist. You mark your waistline and come down by 2 inches from there. So I placed on the under bust, then I got my waist and added 2 inches for my welt. So I'm making a straight line right now for my welt. Can you see? So the width of my welt is 5.5. That is exactly what I marked now, 5.5. So you can see me taking the measurement of the 5.5, and I am making 0.25 plus that from that 5.5. Everything here I have is at 0.5. So I'm going to make a ducktail. Okay, can you see the ducktail? Yes, that is the ducktail. You can see the tiny snip of triangle. So this is 5.5 and 1 inch. So when I folded it, I have 0.5 inch. So you can see that. So I'm making marks at 0.5 inch. Can you see? That is how you put them together at 0.5 inch. And you also put it together again at 0.5 inch. Can you see? So just follow the video instructions. You'll be able to make this dress accordingly. So I'm sharing the 0.5 inch into 0.25 again. Can you see? So after that, that is what I'm going to use to sew the welt pocket. So I will bring them and kiss them together on top to make sure it matches the line. So I'm securing it with my pin, as you can see. So my pins, I'm laying them on that line to match up together. Okay, can you see what I did right here? Fine. So now I've already secured it, and I've already stitched it. I'm going to use hand stitch. That is what I'm doing right now. So I'll hand stitch, so I'll be able to take off the pins. So this is the hand stitching to place my welt pocket in place, as you can see right there. Okay, so here are the temporary stitches, but I've already stitched on my machine following the lines I made at 0.25. So I'm taking off them I'm taking all the thread away. Now I'll open it up and cut a little bit on the center line. So by the time I cut to the tiny snip of triangle, I will take the triangle shape and cut. Can you see? Make sure you cut accordingly. This part can be very technical. So once I cut into the tiny snip of triangle, can you see the triangle? So that will help us to do what? I'll cut the other way with the triangle. So you can see the triangle right now. So I will use it to push in the welt in. So I've pushed it out, and I'm going to stitch the triangle, okay, so that it keeps our welt in place. So this is the welt. Don't make it too open, as you can see. So now the next thing I'll do is to sew the pocket. So the pocket measures 3 inches by width and 6.5 on length. So I'm done stitching it, and I'm going to insert it into the welt. So you are going to raise it up from the back, and you will stitch. You can see how I'm doing that. I'm going to stitch the back of it. So after stitching the back of it, my welt is in place, as you can see. So the next is my pocket bag. So my pocket bag measures 10 inches in length and 6.5 in width, and my pocket facing measures 2.5 inch. So I'm going to top stitch on top of it, as you see me do right now. Then I'm going to place it on the upper welt. You can see how I turned it, and follow the existing stitching line to stitch it. So I've done that. I'll take the other part to the lower welt, and follow the existing stitching line also to stitch it, as you can see. So now I'll stitch the sides to make it complete. So now I have my complete pocket. Can you see? Looking nice and beautiful right now. So that is it. Our welt is ready. I'm going to reduce my lining because this is a jacket. I'm reducing the lining by 1.5 inch. So I'm going to cut 1.5 inch all around so I'll be able to close up this dress, as you can see. So now I'll make sure I match it seam line to seam line. So I'm going to start from the lapel part to sew, turn it around, sew 0.5 into the extent I can sew. Because of the corset cup, it's very difficult for you to turn that area. So I jump that area and I stitch to the end. So later I will show you how to close it up, the corset part area. So now you can see the sharp place. I left 0.5 inch below it so I'll be able to match them, the down part and that part together. And so I'm done sewing it, as you can see right now. So here I'm going to open up the seams and complete the stitching, as you can see. So now it's completed and I'm turning it around to the front part. So you can see what I have right there right away. So this is looking beautiful. So I have given it a good press as well. So I'll just turn it around and stitch to the extent I can. You can see how I did it. Stitch to the extent you can. After which I will use my hemming gum to seal it up. You can see that area. I will use my hemming gum, go and give it a good press, as you can see. So the sleeve will continue in the next